Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AI Agent Frontier seminar. It's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker, Dr. Huan, an associate professor and innovation scholar at the Ohio State University. Dr. Son's research is at the very heart of our seminar, focusing on building AI agents that are both capable and safe. So she's a leader in the space, developing foundational projects like Mind2Web and SEACT, and her work has earned numerous awards, including an ASF Career Award and Best Paper Honorable Mentions at ACL 2023. She also proves these ideas in the real world. Her team's TackleBot won third place in the Alexa Prize TestBot Challenge. And so today she's here to talk about advancing the capability and safety of computer use agents together. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Dr. Huan.
Thank you, Ming, for the introduction, and congratulations on the nice seminar series. And I hope to catch up more later. I might not be able to monitor the chats, and feel free to interrupt me at any time for questions. All right, so very glad to be here. Today I will talk about a topic that I hold close to my heart on agents. And in particular, we have been conducting two lines of research in our group, capability of agents and also safety of agents. So let's go. All right, so before I start, I want to give heartfelt thanks to the entire OSU NLP group led by myself, Yusu, and our new faculty, Sachin Kumar. Our students here are the true heroes behind all the work we have done. And I want to sincerely thank for their efforts and creativity to make all the work possible. All right, so I've been showing this figure in all my presentations so far. This figure, in my opinion, is among the most interesting ones published this year. It shows that the capability of agents is growing at an astonishingly fast speed. Specifically, the length of tasks that frontier AI agents can complete has been doubling approximately every 7 months. So the length of tasks here is measured by the duration for humans to complete a task. More recently, they also added Grok 4 and GPT-5, as you can see, and the observation still holds up. In fact, these models even perform better than the predicted trend. So if this trend holds, you can extrapolate this and say that in 5 to 10 years, or possibly less than that, we'll see AI agents that can independently complete a large portion of tasks that currently take humans days or even weeks. Last month, OpenAI also tested frontier models on tasks from occupations that contribute most to GDP and show that they are also already approaching expert level work quality. In scientific disciplines, we see that these models have also achieved gold medals in various international Olympiad exams like math, physics, informatics, and more recently, we tested these models on astronomy and astrophysics, or the IOAA exams in the past few years. And our team is led by an OSU student who serves as a US team leader for this year's IOAA and has rich experience in the past exams. Beyond exams, companies also start to use LMs and agents for automating or semi-automating scientific discovery, which is truly exciting, in my opinion, as a goal and a vision. So last week, actually, Future House releases this Cosmos, which went viral on X. So it claims that it has made 7 discoveries so far. Some of the discoveries reproduce the unpublished findings, while some are new, validated contributions to the scientific literature. I personally haven't tried it yet, but it sounds very exciting and sounds like very ambitious and very exciting discoveries. On the other hand, I feel safety isn't keeping pace. In a recent large-scale red teaming competition, the organizers managed to collect 1.8 million manually designed attacks, including both direct and indirect attacks against the various types of agents, as you can see here. And they also created a benchmark based on those attacks and observed 100% policy violation rate, which means that nearly all the agents could exhibit policy violations within a small number of queries, like 10 to 100 queries. In our recent work, we tested a variety of computer use agents under realistic adversarial attacks and showed that the most capable agent, which is Claude 4.5 Sonnet here, which is just released in late September, demonstrated the highest attack success rate. This means that safety and security do not necessarily improve together with the capability. I will show this and explain this figure later a little bit more. So these are all practical adversarial attacks we have to prepare for before wide deployment of agents. Not to mention that there are inherent risks of those models and agents where even without adversarial attack, agents can still scheme, deceive humans, and exhibit self-preservation behaviors. Those might be longer-term risks. Interestingly, there are two popular positions on AI capability and safety. One, as advocated by Yang a few weeks ago, might be summarized roughly as capability first and safety later. The other position calls for a prohibition on the development of superintelligence, which can be regarded as systems that are smarter and more capable than humans until maybe safety and controllability are well understood. So, but if you read carefully about these positions, they all have a good point, which actually leads me to a more centrist position, which is capability and safety should go hand in hand. My rationales are very simple. So first, agents or any AI system must be capable enough to be useful and deployed in real world. There's little to worry about with regard to an incapable system. Second, in order to achieve wide adoption and gain user trust, such systems must be rigorously evaluated on safety and security to avoid consequential risks at deployment. And we shouldn't wait until super intelligent systems are here to start safety investigation. But instead, we should advance our understanding of safety risks at each stage of AI development so that our knowledge and techniques for safety and security are always up to date. So that's why I believe that we should bring this mindset to the development of AI and AI agents, and why we keep two parallel lines of work on capability and safety at the OSU NLP. So let me first talk about capability. We have made tremendous efforts on assessing, or you can also think of it as monitoring the capability and also improving the capability of agents at our group, especially on web agents and computer use agents. So our history actually started before the appearance of ChatGPT. So we started to work on agents actually in 2022 around that before the end of that year. So at that time, we realized that all the web agents at that time work well in simple simulated environments with only a few websites. But our goal was to develop a generalist agent that can work well on any website and for any given task on that website. And we want to minimize the sim to real gap and directly evaluate agents on diverse real websites with realistic tasks collected from humans. So that's how we developed this mind to web, which consists of over 2,000 tasks collected from over 130 real websites across over 30 domains. So this has become the most widely cited benchmark for training and evaluating generalist web agents since then. After that, we developed this C-Act, which is the first generalist web agent framework that uses visual input, or you can also regard it as a multimodal web agent framework that takes screenshots of a web page as input. So at the high level, it works this way. It has two cognitive functions, reasoning, or you can also think of it as planning, which is about reasoning about what to do next. And then grounding. So basically in the reasoning step, the model will generate a textual thought about the next step, like what I need to do. Maybe this is a booking flight task, and we want to enter the departure city somewhere. That is kind of the textual thought about what to do. And the grounding component will ground the textual thought into the current environment. So for example, precisely decide which text field on the web page to fill and what to type there. So here is a concrete example. Say the reasoning component may output this textual thought that I need to enter Columbus, Ohio as the departure city. Then the grounding module will actually figure out, oh, it is the leaving from text field on this web page that the agent needs to interact with. And then figure out, oh, I need to type Columbus, Ohio there as the departure city. So this is the grounding module. And in C-Act, we realized that grounding module is a bottleneck of the agent performance. In fact, if you see the title of C-Act, we say that GPT-4V, which is the state-of-the-art model at that time, is already a generalist web agent if grounded. If grounded, there means the grounding component still needs to be improved by a lot. So that's why later we developed this uGround paper, which stands for Universal Visual Grounding. It enables pure vision-based agents with a human-like vision-only embodiment. It only takes a visual perception of the environment, or you can think of it as only takes the screenshots of a web page as input. No HTML, no accessibility tree is needed, and so on and so forth. So it will just output pixel level actions on the screen. Okay, just like how humans perceive the environment and click on the precise location of the element to navigate. And if you look at the computer use agents released after uGround, like Anthropic's or OpenAI's, they are all following the same paradigm. So after that, we also explored, okay, how good LMs are as a word model of the internet, how good it can sort of predict what will happen after I take an action on the web page. And then we will build a model-based planning framework for the web agents. So it will leverage the prediction there from the word model to guide the decision on what action to take for the next step. After that, we have developed a few high-profile benchmarks. Science Agent Bench is one of them, which is to evaluate those coding agents for data-driven scientific discovery. It is reported by Nature News, has been widely adopted for this kind of tasks as well. Online mind to web is to advocate online evaluation of web agents using real live websites. Previous, benchmarks like mind to web is a kind of a static offline evaluation. Here we advocate online evaluation using real live websites. So you can imagine that there are many challenges there. So for example, live websites can keep changing and you need to deal with the constant changes there. The agent needs to be robust. And also we developed a reliable automatic evaluation judge. Because of the online evaluation nature, we cannot rely on humans to do the evaluation all the time. So the automatic evaluation judge has been evaluated to be reliable and closely aligned with the human evaluation there and has been used in follow-up work as well. So I will mainly talk about Mind to Web 2, which is a more recent benchmark come from our group. So it is more recently, there is a special type of web agents emerging, which is called agentic search systems or deep research systems, where the system needs to decompose a complex user query or task, interact with web pages, collect information, and then refine or reformulate the query, and then continue with the next steps. Finally, summarize the answer with citations of other web pages or papers and so on. So then there is an evaluation crisis for these agentic search systems. So for example, right, here is what we ask a deep research system to survey other deep research systems. And here is the answer that this system produced. It's a very comprehensive report with a table of up-to-date information at the time and numerous citations. A human would need tens of minutes or maybe hours to gather all this information. But here is the evaluation challenge. How do we evaluate agents, working on tasks of this complexity? So first, we are talking about extremely long horizon tasks. It could easily take those agents hundreds of steps or navigate hundreds of websites to gather this answer. And the answers could be time varying. So if you query ask the agent today, it can, the correct answer is this. But if you ask it a few days later, the answer might be different. So we are dealing with time varying queries here. And also the answer itself is complex, very long, and multifaceted. There are multiple dimensions to evaluate the answer on. And there can be hallucination, and also we needed to evaluate on the attribution. So for example, whether the cited literature can actually support this claim in the answer or not. So traditional evaluation methods are simply inadequate for this challenge. You can see an example of a hallucination, by the way, in this answer. So for example, this answer gives the DeepSeek R1 as one of the deep research system, which is not correct, as it is not. And also it provides citations here. We also need to validate whether this citation can actually support the claim or not. So in order to address this evaluation challenge, we developed Mind to Web 2, and there we also have this agent as a judge methodology to evaluate the correctness and also the attribution of the answer given by the agent. So from this example, you can see, okay, the task here might be time varying, and also it needs multiple sources to answer this query. The agent can give you, a lengthy answer with multiple citations, and also basically the answer needs to provide items here that can meet the constraints identified in the answer in the query. We collected many realistic tasks from diverse domains. Here, I'm just showing you a shopping domain, but we also have some other domains like entertainment, lifestyle, and so on, science and research. And to evaluate the agent's answers, we developed this agent as a judge evaluation strategy, as I mentioned earlier. Basically, the high level idea is we will check both the answer correctness and the source attribution. For instance, when an agent claims a bad frame as white, we don't just trust it. We will automatically access the web page and verify, oh, this item is indeed white. The way we do this is we will construct a rubric tree, basically decompose the query's requirements into a tree structure, and also apply information extraction from the answer given by the agent to check whether each constraint is met or not. So there is an agentic workflow for checking the answer's correctness and attribution. All the tasks in the benchmark are ensured to be long horizon by careful validation. So for example, here is the statistics of the human study on 30 tasks. We can see that a task can take humans up to 44 minutes, involve 31 websites, and over 300 web pages. Those might still be underestimates because in our study, humans didn't always complete the tasks perfectly, which I'll show on the next page as well. And in terms of the complexity of our rubric tree, you can see that there is an average of 50 nodes in the per task, and with the depth of 6 levels. So that shows the complexity of the task. Basically, involve many constraints to satisfy the user specified requirements. We also conduct a human evaluation on our judge agent, and also the evaluation results shows that they are highly aligned with each other. So I encourage you to check details of our methodology in the paper. Related to regarding the results, we have evaluated 10 frontier systems ranging from search augmented LMs to those more traditional web agents, to those deep research systems, and also human performance on a subset. Even the best system only achieves around only 28% complete success rate. Humans only manage 54%. But it's important to note that humans aren't the ceiling performance on this benchmark, which is very different from a typical AI benchmarks. These tasks are genuinely too tedious to get perfect scores. Humans might also get tired or suffer from cognitive fatigue to complete those tasks. And recently, we are more into effective learning paradigms after developing many benchmarks. So we want to turn to more effective learning paradigm. How do we further improve the agent capability? So do we just, manually annotate a lot of data to do supervised fine-tuning, which is obviously very time costly, and also, it requires, a lot of human efforts there. And or do we rely on the agent to learn via reinforcement learning? So in our recent work released last month in collaboration with Meta, we discussed the pros and cons of the SFT, or imitation learning shown in the figure and reinforcement learning, and explore a new learning paradigm which we call early experience. Basically, at each environment state, we let the agent explore some actions here and observe the resulting next state and use the observations as supervision. This way, we do not need long-term reward signals as they require long horizon rollouts and are inefficient to get. So basically, we can just utilize the next state observations and develop some supervision signals there to sort of train this agent using this early experience before exploring to conduct tasks from end to end using the RL framework. Later, we also show after this early experience paradigm, if you apply RL on top of it, you can also observe better performance gains than just training the agent using the imitation learning data. So I won't talk more details about this, but now I want to switch gears and discuss a little bit more on the agent safety side. So first question is, how do we think about the safety risks of today's agents? So in this talk, when I say safety, I actually mean both safety and security. Traditionally, safety and security original from different conceptual foundations and targeted fundamentally different classes of threats. So in a narrow but more precise sense, AI safety target at unintentional safety failures, such as value alignment or robustness, out of distribution, goal misalignment, and so on. While AI security targets at intentional adversarial actions, such as by malicious actors or intentional misusers to conduct adversarial attacks, data breaches, or system misuses, and so on. So there is always an adversarial element in the AI security paradigm. In English is actually one of the funny languages that distinguish safety and security. So earlier, my colleagues in OSU realized this confusion among the researchers, especially from the security community and also among students. So we wrote this article to clarify this distinction. You can check out the details there. But that said, for convenience, sometimes in this talk, I will still use safety just to avoid keeping saying safety and security. But I mean general harms, including both adversarial risks and also inherent unintentional technical risks in the AI systems. So how do we systematically think about the safety risks of AI agents? I'd like to look at this, in a layer by layer view, or kind of like peeling an onion. So basically, you can see that there are three layers here, where the innermost layer is about the model architecture. You can think about the architecture also has some limitations. We often talk about the limitation of length extrapolation of transformers, also systematic compositionality of transformers, meaning that they see some combinations, but they fail to generalize to novel combinations to some extent. I will also mention some related work from our group later. The middle layer is the LM layer, basically. You can think of it as adding pre-training data and a training objective on top of the architecture. So in this process, we'll see two major risk sources, which are data poisoning. You might see, the model gets there's a lot of work on data poisoning, and also reward hacking related to the training objective, like SFT or RLHF. The outer layer is about the LM-based agents. This part is what I will focus on in the later part of the talk. Basically, from LM to LM-based agents, the agents can use tools, interact with the environments, right? So the agents will be exposed to a variety of tools and a diversified of environments. There, the attacker surface could be much broader than the LMs. Your face prompt injections from the environment, unsafe tool use, and not to mention some unintended actions taken by the, maybe figured out by the reasoning module of the LMs, or there is some goal scheming, behaviors of the agents that can take some malicious actions and cause some real harm on the users or the environments. So in sum, those weaknesses at the inner layers could propagate to the higher levels, while environmental attacks could leverage those internal limitations of the LMs. So consequently, I think to defend the whole agent, we need to think about layer-specific evaluation and defense, such as maybe we need to develop a rigorous architectural test beds to just understand the model architecture limitations. And also we needed to evaluate LM and agent safety and security rigorously. And correspondingly, we need to develop model level defenses. So for example, build inherent safe and security models by maybe let the model to have a stronger sense of safety during pre-training or post-training phase. And we also needed to have system level defenses where maybe a safety or security component is added to the entire agent system. Today, I will mainly talk about prompt injection in the environment, and I will briefly mention transformer architecture's fundamental limitation for systematic compositionality later. Let me start with the prompt injection. I believe many of us have heard about it. It has been ranked as #1 risk, or at least among the most pressing risks by many authorities. We've heard about the prompt injection when we started red teaming or jailbreaking LMs before. So GCG is one of the famous algorithms for finding an adversarial prompt as an injection into the user prompt to jailbreak the LM to output something it is not supposed to say. It is an amazing algorithm that it can find a single adversarial prompt that is universal and transferable, meaning that it could work for many harmful queries and transfer to closed source models after optimization only using open weight models. So we have a follow-up work to GCG to address the weakness of GCG, which is that GCG is known to be very slow. It could take hours to find a single adversarial suffix. So we also observe that during the optimization process, GCG can miss a lot of successful suffixes, meaning that you can find, okay, actually some suffixes in the GCG optimization process could also jailbreak the LM, but those aren't collected in this process as shown in the red dots in this GCG process. So in our work called Ample GCG, we developed this, we trained this generative model of adversarial suffixes. The idea is that by doing one pass of the GCG algorithm, we can collect many harmful query and successful suffixes as training data. All right. And then we can use the training data to train a generative model. After this training data is collected offline and the model is trained offline, we can apply this trained model to many new harmful queries and apply to many new models that are not seen or used in the training process. And we show that this ample GCG could produce hundreds of adversarial suffixes to jailbreak a target model in only 4 seconds at test time. So this can be much more faster and also cover a lot of more adversarial suffixes discovered by the original GCG process. But different from LMs, agents can interact with the tools and the external environment. So attack surfaces for agents could become much broader. Now we get a new variant of prompt injection called indirect prompt injection, meaning that the user might not be directly prompting the agent to do something harmful, but instead malicious prompts can be injected into other data, like the agent can directly interact with, such as web pages, documents that the agent could retrieve through the RAG framework, emails the agents can read, and so on and so forth. Due to the strong instruction following abilities, the agents could just follow those malicious instructions and perform something harmful. So when Anthropic released the Claude for Chrome in August, it specifically warns such attacks, saying that there can be hidden malicious form, hidden in a web page's document object model, DOM tree, invisible to humans. So this is exactly the attack we studied in our work called EIA, Environmental Injection Attack, published in iClear this year. So basically, you can inject a malicious form field just next to the benign form field. And the agent could be misled to enter the user information in this malicious form field. All right, this form field injected here could be totally invisible to humans, but because the agent could access the HTML or DOM tree of the the web page, it could be misled by the malicious field here and leak user privacy. And we show that despite the attack being very simple, the attack success rate could be very high, up to 70% for the GPT-4V based model, which is the state-of-the-art agent at that time. But one limitation of this attack is that we assume the attacker has access to the HTML of a web page, which is true, which is possible, but it still is a strong assumption. So I will talk about how we assess this, address this limitation in the coming slides. So if you look at computer use agents, right, they can do more things than web pages. They can not only just browse the web, but also operate your computer, ranging from managing files, writing commands in terminal, or perform tasks on various OS apps. So the attack surfaces are even broader than web agents. How can we conduct a comprehensive safety and security evaluation of computer use agents? That's the motivation we develop our recent work on Red Team CUA. Basically, we want to collect ecologically valid tasks using realistic threat models, perform systematic evaluation, and also, more importantly, we develop this hybrid sandbox environment where we want to do controlled, safety testing, because we want to avoid the real harms if we're using the, real OS or real websites that wouldn't be possible. So in our Red Team CUA, we developed this, as I was mentioning, this hybrid sandbox. a key feature is that we integrate a virtual machine-based OS environment and Docker-based web platforms, so we could we could safely test cross-environment attacks, meaning that, for example, a prompt injection on the web may be, noticed by the agent, and then the agent will take that instruction and perform something on your OS environment. So that is kind of from web to OS kind of attack. And this shows a realistic scenario. For example, the user might ask the agent to find something about how to install the newest package on the computer from, for example, a Reddit platform. And the agent will go ahead, search the web, find the relevant Reddit post, and then retrieve the information. But at that time, it will also see some malicious post by a user, and then execute the malicious instruction on the local computer. So this is how this attack is executed. I will skip the details here, but basically we also consider various adversarial goals. For example, the goals can be categorized into 3 groups under the CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, availability, to leak some private user information, delete some files, or stop some service. We developed a comprehensive benchmark and show that actually we tested multiple frontier computer use agents. We asked the agent to perform the tasks end to end, which is very realistic. Basically, during the process, the agent will start from the initial environmental state, which could be, the start page, web page you want the agent to work on. And then the agent will need to navigate step by step in order to land on the web page that contains the prompt injection. And then only if the agent is able to navigate to the environment state with the prompt injection and is able to perform the harmful task and the benign task, we treat it as an attack success. You can see this is very challenging, but despite this is challenging, we can see that the attack success rate is pretty high. So that means, basically the current agent is very capable and is also, in a good way and also in a bad way, meaning that it can also follow the, the malicious instruction and perform the malicious task as instructed. As I showed earlier, that the most capable agent is also the least secure. So that really makes the safety efforts more urgent, to catch up. Here is a concrete demo. I guess I will skip the details here because of the time limit, but we have this multiple demos on our website. You can check more details. Basically, this is, as I said, the agent needs to navigate to the correct forum, to the correct sub post that contains the relevant information for the benign task. But once it navigates to the, a post with the information here, as you can see here, this is a benign post containing how to install a package. But under this post, you can see there is a malicious user post, malicious follow-up to the original post, and saying that, okay, this is also important, and you need to first do this step before, in order to successfully install the package. So this is very convincing to the agent, and the agent can be misled to follow, the malicious instruction and first do this step, like delete this this file in the terminal, using the terminal, and then go back to the original task and finish the original task. So we currently just done a few variations of the malicious prompt, but you can imagine you can also tune these prompts either automatically or malicious sort of automatically to make it make the attack ASR higher even. All right, so this is what I showed earlier, but we also tested the existing defense methods, both model level and the system level. For example, we tested the most recent so-called secure foundation model released by Meta earlier. They try to train the model to be able to detect or identify web pages with prompt injections, but still no defense method currently works very well yet. So there is still a long way to catch up. We have more details in the paper, so feel free to check more. I want to briefly mention that I will skip the details there, but I want to briefly mention that red team CUA can be used to study other kind of behaviors in addition to adversarial attacks or other safety risks in addition to adversarial attacks, such as unintended behaviors where both the user prompt and the environment are benign, but still the agent could do something malicious. Currently, we are doing a systematic study where we want to formalize this and automatically elicit unintended behaviors. Our recent work also developed a benchmark and also a training set to build guardrails for computer use agents, which is we want to detect consequential actions. By consequential, we mean actions that are, maybe safe or low risks and high risks. I will skip the details here, but you can check out the details in the paper. So here we show that, okay, using the pre-trained models, basically the accuracy for detecting consequential actions is still very low, but there is, like a high performance gain if you use the training data to train even those smaller models. You can see the performance again is pretty high, and the improvement, the accuracy will be much higher than before. But still, there is a good headroom to improve. So I want to briefly mention some other work we have done in terms of understanding fundamental limitations of model architecture. One work that have got quite some attention is the Grok transformers paper. In that paper, we want to understand, can transformers reason implicitly? How fundamentally promising or limited are those transformers for multi-step reasoning? So we have done some mechanistic analysis to understand the circuits found by transformers after a process called grokking, basically an extended training period beyond the overfitting point. And another work which is related to reversal curse. Basically, it is a phenomenon discovered last year, which is about LMs trained on A is B failed to learn B is A. So we want to understand why this happens. In our recent work, we try to understand reversal curse, and we connect this with the long-standing binding problem in the neural networks literature, and found that and discover some insights about transformers through this basic generalization failure, and show that the challenges for learn consistent representations across different layers of the transformer architecture. In fact, not just the transformer, the general neural network architecture. So with that, I'm going to summarize. Basically, for future work, we still want to continue to build advanced safety and safety of the agents, maybe go beyond computer use. But I want to emphasize several things. One thing is we are exploring effective agent learning paradigms, including both the data and the infrastructure, which are very hard to build and collect. Another thing we have been investing more is on the scaling in safety and security evaluation. I don't believe human-only red teaming. I feel that won't scale to expose long tail failures. So I'm thinking about building AI co-scientists, kind of to accelerate AI safety research. Basically, the AI co-scientists could help you sort of explore hypotheses, read the papers, and discuss, maybe even design some adversarial scenarios and so on. The last point is about something I mentioned earlier, which is to entail some safety reasoning in the foundation models. Let the foundation models learn to predict the consequences and more intelligently ignore prompt injections. But this is not that straightforward because we also want to mitigate overthinking. You don't want to sort of think all the, think for many tokens or a long time for every single action, even if it looks very trivial to humans. All right, sorry I'm a little bit over time, but I'm happy to take questions and happy to answer, or follow up at any time later. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Juan, for this fantastic talk. So we'll be opening up questions for folks in a moment, and I want to kick off a question of my own.
Sure.
So I'm very interested in this paradigms of agentic extension. So for example, you presented agentic judge. So I'm wondering, so we already know there are some limitations of large language models as a judge, for example, like bias and reliability. So as we make them into an agentic judge, how much of these limitations gets inherited?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
what's your approach of addressing them?
Yeah. So, first of all, yeah, that's a very good question. So first of all, I want to emphasize that all the at least I think that's a very legitimate concern in general. But for Mind to Web 2, we focus on those objective and factual queries. So you can always find, items that either satisfy or don't, satisfy the constraints. So, for example, you find something information, the price of an item, whether it satisfies the $100 budget or not. That is, that is an objective constraint that you can verify. So as long as I would say the accuracy for the LM to automatically extract the information from the answer, there isn't, so much a bias there. But of course, sometimes, like the LM may make a mistake in extracting the fact from the answer. But so far, we have been very careful in instructing the LM, at least instructing the LMs, and also to sort of prepare the agent to give a structured answer. So you make the agent or later to extract the answer easily and so on and so forth. But so far, we haven't made a lot more efforts in sort of specifically addressing the bias. But I think it's a very good future work to explore. We also try to monitor, the agents submitted to our benchmark and try to human validate their answers as well. So we are not like purely relying on the agent as judge. But I think so far our our evaluation says that they are pretty aligned, at least in terms of the rank of different agents.
I see. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you for sharing your insights.
sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's open up the floor for folks. Please use the raise the hand button, or you can put your question in the chat. Be happy to read it for you. Yes, Zhongyang, please go ahead.
Hi, Professor Sun, and
Hi.
I'm Zhongyang Li, a master student in Johns Hopkins University. And I saw you and Yusu in column venue this year in Montreal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and thank you for your presentation. And I read your paper that the red team CUA before, and I have a question. So
Sure.
I saw the data in the paper shows that there's the model try to execute the attacks, but only a few succeed. So does this mean the model are being blocked by the safety features, or are they just simply not capable enough to complete the attacks?
Well, yeah, very good question. I think it depends. I think it could happen like both ways. But we do observe that sometimes the agent isn't doing the malicious task. It's not because it is very safe or it just ignores the prompt, but actually is incapable to finish the task. It actually has this. We actually have a attempt rate. If you check the papers, attempt we means that we find that the agent actually plans to execute the malicious task, but because for some reason maybe the capability it just didn't follow through, it just didn't complete the task. So if you can, I encourage you to look at the attempt success rate there as well. Attempt
Okay.
rate, basically. Yeah.
Okay. I see. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
we usually, I think in our paper, we report both attempt rate and also the attack success rate. Attack success rate means we consider the task completion, but the attempt, we also count the success if the agent attempts to perform the task but didn't succeed.
Yeah, I see there's a 92% like attempt rate, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
only 66 like a successful rate.
Right, right.
But this gap is big. So this the gap
Yeah.
between the two rates is can come from the two reasons.
Yeah,
The
yeah. So that's why I think why we observe a higher attack success rate for the more recent Cloud Sonnet 4.5. You can see, if you remember, I won't go back to that slide, but you remember I earlier presented the recent CUA actually got 60% ASR higher than before. I think it is as it becomes more capable, it actually goes on to continue the malicious task and finish it more often than before.
Okay, I see. I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. Do we have more questions from the audience or comments? Okay, so we have a question in the chat from Xionghui Lin. So he asks, for general purpose computer use agents operating on the web, what signals or behavior patterns do you consider most reliable for distinguishing malicious user actions or adversarial website behaviors?
Yeah, good question. I guess here for you consider most reliable for distinguishing malicious user actions or adversarial website behaviors. Um, so can you maybe elaborate on what do you mean by malicious user actions? Do you mean the user who uses this agent that gives you a malicious prompt? Or do you mean the prompt injection in the website, which comes from basically a third user or another person? Or actually adversarial website behavior. You mean the website owner tries to sort of mislead the agent?
Yeah, that's
Is
a
it
great
possible? Yeah.
clarification. Yeah, so is it like from the user side who initiated, or is from the website that's
Website.
already having there? Yeah. Could you clarify a bit?
It's fine if no clarification, but I can provide some prompt injection from the environment versus the website, right? Currently, I feel no. I feel right now, well, we haven't investigated this aspect thoroughly, but from my observation, so basically the prompt injection, you can also, of course, it is also part of the website. It becomes a part of the web page, right? You observe, at least the agent observes. So in the previous example I showed in the Reddit case, that prompt injection is just one follow up post to the original post, right? But the website, I guess website behaviors, of course, website owners have more access to the web page, right? It can manipulate the website elements. The website owners can do more if they really want to, sort of ban those agents or mislead the old agents. It can sort of design some malicious or misleading elements, icons, or manipulate their images and so on. They can do more. So I think from that sense, yes, maybe you can design some features to characterize this kind of behaviors from that only the website owners can have access to. But users usually, prompt injections, if you think about the realistic threat models, you really need to think about what attackers have access to, right? So in the Reddit case, I think as a normal malicious attacker, they might only be able to enter something they are allowed to enter on the website, right? They can post, make a post, or maybe they can like or they can repost and things like that. But they cannot just manipulate any element on the web page. So I feel from that perspective, maybe you can design some signals or features to characterize different kinds of malicious behaviors. No, not sure if this answers the question, but yeah,
It's
just to
very
provide
helpful,
some
and
clue.
thank
Yeah.
you for that response. And I see that the time is up, and let's give our speaker Huan another round of applause for this nice
Thank you.
discussions, and thank you all for your engagement. And I hope to see you all in our next week's seminar. Have a great
Cool. Thank you.
day. Thanks, Huan.
Bye. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you for the invite. Bye.